everybody, it's Oksana, and today I'm going to show you how to wrap a star-shaped stone. In my case, I didn't have a star-shaped stone, so I just made these little stars out of resin, and they're meant to have a little hole up top, but we're going to ignore it. We're just going to treat it like they're little star-shaped stones, and I'm going to show you a very simple, easy, basic, beginner-friendly method of how to wrap it into a pendant using just one piece of wire. So if you would like to see, just keep watching. The wire I'm going to use is zebra wire in the color natural. This is dead soft copper wire, and it has the natural copper color, but it's been coated with like a clear coating so it stays this color and doesn't darken like raw copper does. And this length of wire that I'm going to be using is about 11 inches, and I didn't have a proper cabochon, so I had to make a resin one. So I made just like a basic little star shape. This is the only mold that I had, but it's about an inch. So my star is about an inch. I'm going to do 2 of these pendants, and I'm going to use the same length of wire. So I've cut myself 2 of these wires, and I'm going to use each one for each pendant. So I'm going to show you 2 different styles. Very simple, very basic and easy, great for beginners. So I'm taking this wire and I'm just giving it a nice bend, and I'm forming just like a little loop up at the top. And this can be done with bigger stars as well. I'd probably use maybe thicker wire just so it's more sturdy, but my stars are quite small and they're actually meant to have like a little hole up top, so just ignore that. We're pretending that they're just a cabochon. So once you do that, you want to place your wire. I'm going to show you what it looks like here from the back, like this, but I'm going to hold it in the front now. So this little loop is going to be the bail. It's going to be a type of bail that you tie a little lark's knot, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So then you want to line up your wire right here in this little spot, and you want to bend it all the way across the star and then right to the spot across. So we're going to do the same thing on this side, just right across like that. And then here, so we're in the back now, we're going to take this wire and just put it through this little loop here, and then just keep pulling it through and pulling it through like that. And we're going to do that on the other side as well. And I'm holding it here in the front so stuff doesn't like move out of the way, out of its placement, I mean. So just pulling it through and pulling it through, just like this. Alright, so what is left to do is to cut our wire and to close up the little loops that will be formed, and they will be holding on to the bail there. So I'm cutting, I'll show you up close in 1 second. I'm cutting my wire cutter's there, and I'm leaving myself this tiny little end there, and then I'm taking the end and I'm pushing it down, and see how it's basically like a little loop that is formed, and I'm just closing up that loop. So now the wire end is kind of tucked away. It's like touching this wire here, so it's not sticking out, so it's not going to like poke or anything like that. Alright, so now on this side, basically the same thing. So first I'm just going to tighten it up a little bit more. You can use your pliers always if you feel like it didn't get adequately tight, or like it feels wobbly or loose. You can pull the wire through a little extra with your pliers. So now the same thing, just tucking away that little wire end, closing up that loop. So this is star number 1. If you want, you can kind of adjust this wire on the back so it's a little more symmetrical. So this is the back, but if you like the look of this, you could do it backwards and this could be the front. But in my case, this is meant to be the front. It just has a nice little crisscross across the star to hold it, and then I'll show you how to tie a lark's knot at the end there once I do the other star. So for the other star, we're going to do something very similar. It's just a slight variation, slightly different look, but also easy and simple and great for beginners. So we're starting out with the same kind of little loop situation that we did in the other star. So I made a little loop, but now we're going to give it a little bit of a twist like this. And the reason for this is so the wires stay together and they don't slide apart. And after you have done this, you want to bring the two wires together. It's going to kind of make your little twist less twisty looking. Like it might also, see how it's like opening up the twist a little bit, but that's okay. The main idea is just that your wires are nice and together, just like this, and also just in a straight line. So just like that, and now I'm grabbing just another little resin star, and I'm putting the loop just like this across the back, and then here on the very bottom, I'm bending those two wires, and it's okay that the loop got a little twisted out of place. We can just fix that, not a problem. So the wires are coming this way through the very bottom of the star, and now we're going to separate them out. We're going to put one on this side and one on this side. So just like this. So a slightly different look, but similar. So I'm actually going to do something a little different. I'm going to trim the wires before I put them through the loop. So if you had a hard time with the longer wires, some people might find it easier to use a longer wire and put it through the loop. Some people might find it easier when it's shorter. So in this video, in this second version, I'm going to show you with the shorter. So with the shorter, you would take your pliers, because obviously it's hard to grab those little wire ends with your hands because they're so much shorter, and you would put them through the loop with your pliers. So it just depends on like how comfortable you are working with your pliers and how much control you have with them, or do you prefer to use your hands like in the previous version. But it's the same thing that's happening. We are just putting the wire through the loop, and now I'm just using my pliers to adjust it so it's the same level on both sides. So like the same positioning. So one is not like up here, you know, they're both down low. And now the same thing, just trimming that, leaving just a tiny little end there that we can use to close up that loop. And same thing on this side. Let me just try and get in there. There we go. All right, so we are just now going to close up those loops. With our pliers, so the wire end is out of the way and hidden and will not poke out and scratch. All right, and our little loop is nice and centered, so this is what it looks like from the back. And again, ignore that little hole there. This is what it looks like from the front. As you can see, this one has a little bit of a curve in it. This wire here, it just got a little curve in there, so just You can just fix that easily with your pliers. You can adjust your wires as needed until it looks symmetrical. This one looks more of like a butterfly, like a star-shaped butterfly when you do the wires like that. So now I'm going to grab my cord necklace and show you how to put these on a necklace. Alright, so for the cord necklace, you can either take it and put it from the back to the front like this. So you fold it and you have like a little loop and you put it through. And then through this little loop, you grab the rest of it and you pull it through this way. And then you just tighten it up. So that's called a lark's knot. And that's what you would do with this type of bail. So alternatively, instead of going from back to front, you can go from the front to the back. So again, take your whole cord necklace, you fold it in half, and then this little loop is what we're tucking through. So this time I'm going to show you from back to front. It's just a slightly different look, that's all. In this version, there's like a little knot that gets formed here, versus in this version, it looks a little different. See that? So it's up to you what you prefer the look of better, but those are basically just two different ways to put a cord necklace on the star. Alright, so here they are, our two little star pendants. So I hope this video was helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!